What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports podcast. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll break down and do a deep dive in the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the best analysis, the latest, and the hottest takes. Subscribe, share, and even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Hit the like button for us and tap the notification bell on the right so you can be notified whenever we drop, so you won't miss one. Today we have on the show Drew Bastards
Look at
back.
this guy. Look at this guy.
And we got
Welcome
our usual
back.
Nazir.
Hey man, it's been a long time coming. Drew's took the summer off from us, but getting back into the work motion. Work's been kicking his ass like it has been me, and you know
Well,
we're
you
back.
hear me? I just
Jalen's been
everybody needs to
getting
go
his
to the
ass kicked
doctor.
too, but we're back in motion, and we're excited to have Drew back. Hopefully for a lot of time, but work schedule we'll see, but we're excited to get started today, Drew. We got a lot to talk about with the upcoming football season and obviously the Brewers.
Sounds great. I'm keeping tabs on everything, so let's rock and roll.
Yeah, with that, I'm only gonna be on for this first segment because I got an appointment to go see a doctor. So, uh, the first topic we're gonna jump into is, as our usual, like I've been saying the past two pods, fantasy football. So, who are the go-to QBs this edition? We did wide receivers and running backs the last two editions. So, who are the go-to QBs?
Drew, I'll let you go.
I mean, every year it's kind of a flexible thing to talk about. I have always been very much I'm going to go in the draft and I'm going to hold out on the first four-ish quarterbacks to go off the board. I don't want to be overpaying for a quarterback. I feel like there's a lot of variables that go into every season. So although I do like a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson, those are the type of guys I'm letting go earlier because typically people will gamble on their quarterback early. I'm not one of those guys. I prefer to have a balanced quarterback and a balanced tight end. So I say usually around that 5 to 10 mark, you're going to run into guys like a Joe Burrow, who would be really fun with Jamar Chase. He may even be a top end guy if his team can stay healthy. I guess that's my number one right now. But I mean, you look across the league, there's going to be plenty of options. And I mean, I guess if I had to go with one right now, it'd be Joe Burrow, just to kind of have in terms of where you're going to get the best value and not going to pick someone up too early. I think that's the top guy.
Since you said the guys to go for, I'm going to tell you not to go for. Do not pick Patrick Mahomes. He's not a fantasy quarterback anymore, unless he has an explosive wide receiver, which he does not have anymore. And his tight end is also kind of washed. He's with Taylor Swift now, so that is partially why. Baker Mayfield is somebody that I would maybe consider, but he was kind of wishy-washy last year because of the injuries that occurred on his team. So maybe this year, if his team is able to stay healthy, Baker Mayfield might be kind of a sleeper. Now, Bo Nix, I don't know. This is one player that is just like, what do you do? If you have Bo Nix ready for you on the fantasy draft board, do you pick him over other guys like Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy, or assuming that these other top quarterbacks are taken? Who, like Bo Nix, do you take him over JJ McCarthy? Do you take him over Jordan Love, Drake May, Dak
I do.
Prescott? Do you take Bo Nix over any of those guys? Because their offense isn't really pass centric. It's really run centric if you really want to think about it. Because they have Cortland Sutton. They have other wide receivers that I'm sure are good, but are they going to produce? I have Evan Ingram now. That may help a little bit with Bo Nix's production. But that's just one player that I would maybe, unless you have to, maybe steer away from, because we really don't know what's going to happen with them. I'd rather have a running quarterback he can run a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little scary to pick someone with their sophomore year like that, unless you're Jaden Daniels, I guess. But even then, still a little scary because you don't know what to expect in a second year. We haven't seen the consistent play. But one other quarterback I probably steer away from is JJ McCarthy. I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, be real here. It's just I love him. He's a Michigan kid, and Harbaugh coached him. He's going to be a great quarterback. We'll see, but he was his talent kind of revolved around that O line that was in Michigan, and this is a different O line. This is a different league, so I would kind of steer away from him unless you have him as a backup quarterback, and maybe later in the year you can get a sleeper out of him because maybe he starts playing out of his mind. So those are the quarterbacks I'd kind of stay away from for now. But you kind of nailed it on the who you should go for. But Jalen, I want to hear your thoughts. Who do you think you should go for quarterback?
Bo Nix isn't a bad option. He had almost 4,000 yards last year. I'd say he's not on the tier where like Josh Allen and Jackson and Jalen Hurts and Daniels are, or even Burrow. But I would definitely steer away from Patrick Mahomes. I would look at also. You can look at a Justin Herbert. His production is going to rise this year because now he got his wide receiver back.
I hope so.
I wouldn't be surprised if I see another, fantasy outbreak again. He did throw for 4,000 yards last year, and he only had really one true wide receiver that he was really targeting a lot. So imagine he got Keenan Allen. They're going to have a lot more red zone opportunities. So I think that he might be someone to look at. Dak Prescott.
I think Dak is a good one. I think Dak is a very sleeper pick.
He's always been a good fantasy quarterback because he throws the ball a lot.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have Mike McCarthy anymore. That's the issue. So I don't know what's going to happen with that offense. It's very new now.
Well, both him and Herbert both have a really high floor, and I think at least in fantasy, and I think that's why they could be valuable. They're both going to put up at least 3,500 yards if they stay healthy, and they're both going to be able to at least. I know Justin Herbert's going to be able to run a little bit. He's going to, as we had talked before the podcast, he's going to need a little bit more help from his receiving core and just getting their hands on the ball. And I mean, you can say at other places, Green Bay, you look at that first preseason game, it was like, holy moly, what's going on there?
Gosh, so many.
It's just drop after drop after drop. And I like Malik Heath. I love him. He's just a firecracker, and he gets plays going. He gets people excited. He might have lost he might be in the practice squad after that, unfortunately, just with the amount of wide receivers the Packers have. Obviously, they're going through a little bit of a shakeup with so many injuries right now. They're bringing in guys like Quan Baker and just some people who've kind of milled around the league. But once everybody's healthy, it's going to be hard to find your spot and get your catches if you're someone who's trying to itch for more playing time, especially if you're at the point where you're dropping in the preseason. But just quickly to go back to Bo Nix, that's another guy where, as you said, is kind of a question mark. And well, I'm really high on him as a football player. He's very, very technically sound. I remember watching him play last season against the Packers and just thinking that he was just crisp. He was smooth. It wasn't anything flashy, but he's going to get the job done. And I think that that's great for a backup option for like a bye week. I think if you have like a Jalen Hurts or we had already talked about Baker Mayfield, if one of those guys is on bye and then he steps in, he can probably get you a safe 15 to 18 points at minimum, and with the upside of up to 24 to 27. But he's not going to blow up for 35. He's not, and I don't think he's going to have less than 9 or 10 on any given week. So I think he's just a very consistent option.
I would maybe, as backups, I would look at somebody like, you could look at a CJ Stroud. Backup option could be like a McCarthy because he has a high risk, high reward mentality, high risk, high reward kind of season because you don't know what you're going to get from him, and you have the best wide receiver in football, and he's going to use him a lot. So I feel that J.J. McCarthy could be somebody who could have like a Jaden Daniels kind of year. He just pop off out of nowhere. Not saying he's going to have 12 wins, but
I don't know about that. I don't think he's
not saying he's going. That's what I'm saying. Not saying he's going to have 12 wins or something like that, but he could pop off and they already predicted him to get 4,000 yards, so he could really pop off.
Who's ready for my sleeper?
I would say fade Caleb Williams. I would say fade.
I was going to ask you about that.
Cam Ward.
I think he could. I think we were going to find out really early on what we're going to get out of Caleb Williams. I don't think he's going to have one of those midseason adjustments again. I think he's obviously I get a new head coach, but I think just as a pure talent perspective, I think we're going to know what he is early.
I love Justin Fields to death. I would fade Justin, fade Russ. Definitely I wouldn't say fade Jordan Love, but I'm not sure if
Dude,
he's
I'm
that
fading
big of a
CJ
quarterback.
Stroud. I'm fading CJ Stroud. I'm doing it.
I think
I'm
he's gonna have a
tired.
bounce back year. I just
Listen,
think that he's gonna have a bounce back year.
I think my sleeper pick for quarterback is Bryce Young. Listen to me. Before any hate comes my way,
No hate.
Bryce Young has not gotten the opportunity as much as CJ Stroud has, okay? Now he has a chance with better wide receivers around him. He has a bit of a better O-line around him. Yeah, his coaches believe in him. His teammates believe in him. The fans believe in him.
I got two sleepers.
I think Bryce Young is going to have a great season, a better season stat-wise than CJ Stroud. This is a crazy take for me. I don't usually go out of the ball like this because all the backlash Bryce has been getting for the past 2 years. I think Bryce. I mean, he was picked number 1 for a reason, you know. I think he's gonna break out this year, man. It's only a matter of time. I'm team Bryce all the way. I think Bryce is gonna have a better career. I think he's gonna have a better fantasy career than CJ Stroud, especially this year. We're gonna prove it this year.
And like we're saying, nobody's
I can
saying
see
that
it.
Bryce Young. Now we're going to say it. No one's saying that Bryce Young is saying. No one's saying that Bryce Young is a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud. We're talking about fantasy football.
Fantasy wise, okay, he's not
no
a
one
better
is saying
quarterback.
Bryce Young is a better football quarterback than C.J. Stroud. We're talking about
fantasy wise. I don't know about quarterback yet. He's got.
And I don't think that window's closed either. I think that Bryce
it's not.
Young has time to be better than CJ Stroud. I think it's a matter of just getting them the right pieces and put them in the right situation, whether that's in Carolina or not. I mean, we've seen a lot of people leave Carolina and be better off. So I think it's just a matter of how his career plays out. But I think he's got a solid base, and he sort of started to show that he's got that talent towards the end of last season. Could be an interesting one to watch. But my sleeper, Kyler Murray. We've been waiting for it.
I want him to, bro. I need him.
He was looking really good as a fantasy option in his first few seasons in the league, and it's really dropped off. But I don't think that Trey McBride is going to catch his first touchdown pass in Week 14 this year. I think Marvin Harrison's going to get another year to settle. He looks jacked, by the way. And I think that if they stay healthy and that offensive line helps them out, Paris Johnson take a step this year, I think that could be a really fun offense that a lot of people aren't paying attention to. And, of course, Kyler Murray still has the ability to run with the football, and that could be another thing that could bolster fantasy options as well. I think that he would be a great person to have as backup. I'm also holding on to Cam Moore, dude. Ever since he talked about getting in at 4 a.m. to do a job that he liked because his dad got up at 4 a.m. to do a job he didn't like, that dude is ready. He is ready to go. I don't think that they're going to win 11 games or anything like that this year, but I think they can get 7.
What do you guys think about Sam Darnold? I mean, I know he's not in the Vikings anymore.
I'd fade him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's another questionable one for me.
He's also got options. He's got
a lot of options.
Big Boy. He's got Cooper Kupp when healthy. He's one of the best route runners in the league. He's got great running back to rely on, and Kenneth Walker if he can stay healthy. Offensive line, as usual, going to be the question. Tight end.
Do you know who the tight end is? I think
I can't think off the top of my head.
Noah Fant.
Noah Fant, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, he's not bad, but it's in terms of he'll get you your 40 catches for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that's
my sleepers. I actually have 2 of them, but I did want to say fade Brock Purdy this season.
Fade Brock Purdy.
Fade him, yeah. Unless you just throw a bunch of screen. It depends on if Christian McCaffrey is healthy. If Christian McCaffrey is healthy, then I'd say, okay, maybe you could watch him throughout the whole season, but I wouldn't draft him. I'd say just put him I'd watch him through the waiver wire.
Hey, another quarterback that's always a sleeper is Tua. I don't know what it is, but when he's healthy, he's a great fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, fantasy. Oh, yeah.
But when he gets his head knocked off, then it's like, well.
My 2 sleepers would be my first one is Trevor Lawrence, because now you got the addition of you have a 3 wide receiver core. You have Brian Thomas. Do they still got Christian Kirk?
Yeah, probably.
They got Christian Kirk, and then you got Travis Hunter. And then you got ETN in the backfield. We got 2 backs back there.
They got 4 backs, bro. They got
so it's like I think
ETN.
He's gonna have a lot of chances to throw a lot of 12, 13-yard touchdowns in the red zone. But I also would like to say Drake May might be somebody good to look at. He got a number 1 option now.
Dude, a lot of people are saying
actually he got 2 of them. Stephon Diggs. You got Keenan Bourne, I think it was.
Kendrick Bourne.
That's it. Bourne. He got Bourne out there. And then you got a tight end as well. What was that,
A lot
Hunter
of people
Henry?
are putting Patriots in the wild card discussions. I don't know if I believe that yet.
Oh no, in the AFC, I don't think
A lot of that is very
but-
defensive focused.
Right. Well, a lot of it's Drake May focused. People think that Drake May is going to have this crazy sophomore year because he had a good rookie year. I mean,
Actually, Drake May is actually
certainly
trending.
could.
He's actually trending on fantasy right now.
that's what I'm seeing. I told you. I don't know what it is. But it's really confusing me recently.
It's because they got
Honestly.
Stephon Diggs, and then Bourne he already had a successful year with Bourne and
Yeah.
Hunter Henry. Now you got a back there. He has a back too. It's like,
And
Dig
well,
up
here
the ECL.
Drake May is going to be a valuable.
and then
Late
you
round
got
option
Mike Vrabel.
in
Who's going to
fantasy.
get the best out of him?
Yeah, Mike Vrabel's a great coach. It's just the fact that we've never seen him succeed like to the highest of standards. Yeah, he got a 1 seed with the Titans, which is great, but can get past the divisional round against Joe Burrow. I mean, it was a rough game against Joe Burrow.
Well, he plays in the AFC North, I think. So that's what the best team in the AFC North is. Who the
Ravens.
wait, no, he's not in the AFC. He's in the
AFC East, you mean?
I mean, yeah, he's in the East. The best team is obviously the Bills. He's not going to beat them. So who are the other two? The Dolphins,
Dolphins
the
and
Jets.
Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are great.
They
but
just
have
don't.
no
They don't
defense.
function without Tua. It's weird.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't. You don't know if he's going to stay healthy. So
I think the
that's
Dolphins
why
could
I'm
be
saying
fourth in that
you could
division
end
this year.
up seeing that the Patriots could make a run because the Jets don't scare you. Obviously, the Jets are improved, but they don't scare you.
I don't scare you at all.
They don't.
I
scare
think
you
they
at
can
all.
sneak out a wild card.
The Jets.
I think if they figure it out at quarterback, I think they can sneak out a wild card.
Well, it depends all on Justin Fields. If Justin Fields plays like he did in Pittsburgh, there's a chance because he found a way to win games. But if
Sure.
he takes a back step, and he just looks
Mhm.
like he was with anything with the Bears, they're not going to make him. They're
And
going to have like a number 2 pick.
They still have
No.
Garrett Wilson. They still have Brees Hall. They got defense locked down.
Brees Hall hasn't
But
seen the
that's the
gap.
thing. He got to
since
get
2
them
years
the
ago.
ball though.
Brees
I
Hall
love
hasn't-
Justin. I'm rooting for Justin. I mean, I'm you. Nobody, everybody on this podcast know I'm the biggest Justin Fields fan.
Damn,
No,
man.
hands down. I want him to succeed a lot, but I have to call a spade for what it is. Like I seen it with Pittsburgh. I thought that was gonna be, he had Pickens, he had Freiermuth, he had a couple wide receivers, and then he had 2 backs. And they won games. They were like 4-2, I think, with him, which is beautiful. But now you're with a team that defense last year let them down, and now you gotta create.
All right. Well, now just so that I can catch up, I know that you have done a couple other position groups. Can you just give me a quick rundown of who everybody said they're sleeping on or who they really like, and I can just kind of react to it?
Let me think. For like, what'd you guys do on Thursday last week, Jalen?
That's what we did. Running backs.
Well, I'll tell you the wide receivers I liked. I liked McMillan on the Panthers. Who else did I like? Dude, hold on, I gotta look now.
Azir might just be a Panthers fan this year.
Dude,
The running backs.
I'm
The
big-
running backs.
I'm big-
I said were good options to look at would be like, James Cook was going to be there.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
James Conner. Every single year he. Everybody said fade James Conner, fade him. He always produces in fantasy every season. Every season he always produces. He always has near 1,000 yards. Every year he's 1,000-yard rusher every year.
I'm nervous about James Cook just because I know he's doing the little hold-in thing and he's
Oh, he
having a
just got
couple of
signed.
other situations flare up.
He's good. He's fine.
Yeah, but he's going to be behind. I think he's going to have a slow start.
I don't think so. Josh Allen is not to be because
This is
they
someone
got-
who drafted James Cook.
I had
in
both of
fantasy.
them last year, and it was just like clockwork every single time. Screen pass, touchdown. Screen pass, touchdown.
Well, is he going to be able to get that as often this year, you think? You think that
I
James
think
Cook
so
has
because he's not going to have too many options in the wide receiving game. I mean, he got Amari. What does he still have Amari Cooper there?
I hope not. I don't think so.
I think he got Khalil Shaheed,
He has Shakir, yeah. He got
Shakir,
Shakir.
and he got
Yeah, I don't even
Keon
know.
Coleman. So he got 2 good wide receivers, but he needs that number 1 option. He doesn't have I think a true number 1 option.
That's the only reason he won MVP last year because he didn't have no one option.
I feel like
But-
any good defense is just going to shut down James Cook, and then he's going to be forced to throw. And Josh Allen's obviously going to figure it out because it's Josh Allen. But I think that his top weapon is James Cook, and I feel like that's going to draw more eyes on him.
I say another sleeper one could be Nick Chubb. Sleeping, rather.
That's
Sleep.
a good one. That's a knockout one right there, dude.
Nick Chubb would be a
No one's
sleeping
talking
pick
about
because no one has him in fantasy at all. And he's going to end up going undrafted from a lot of teams. And I'm going to watch the devil out of him. Because when he is healthy and he's playing, Joe Mixon, you better get it together because if not, you are replaced.
I agree.
If you don't got it together, you are replaced. And they're going to start doing 2-back sets. So
for the wideouts, quick, I think Tyreek Hill is like being extremely slept on for some reason. I know Jalen said Drake London was one that he wanted to look out for.
Yeah, Drake
London looks nasty.
And Lad McConkey,
Lad McConkey, obviously. Garrett Wilson was one of the guys I really liked. I told everybody to steer away from Mike Evans because although he's still great, he's also kind of just old, and I don't know. I just feel like that hammies just gonna bother him again. I don't know. I feel like it is. And Terry McLaurin, I say keep an eye on because I know he's not gonna leave. I think he's gonna get paid.
And Adam Thielen's gonna be a good pick too.
If Washington knows what's good for them, they're gonna give that guy what he wants because the team that they have right now could make a run at a title game.
They're gonna give him what he wants. This is just a playout game. He's trying to get all the money he can. So.
Another one I said to go for, a sleeper one, is Zay Flowers. I think he's going to have a crazy, I don't know what it is. He's been looking good in training camp and preseason. He looks crazy good. So Zay Flowers is one. DK Metcalf I thought was a sleeper one. I don't think he's going to be like extremely great, but I think he's going to be like pretty productive. I told people to steer away from Cortland Sutton because I just don't think they're going to be pass centric. I don't believe the Broncos are going to do that this year.
I told people to get Sutton.
Yeah, I was kind of on the steer away side. And then Jacoby Myers was one. I think Jacoby Myers is a crazy sleep pick. And I think Chris said Rome Odunze.
No.
Chris Godwin's pretty good.
DJ Moore is going to vulture, and Luther Burden is going to vulture.
I would say Jordan Addison, but I'm pretty sure he's suspended for like 3 games to start the season or something like that. So like probably not. But yeah.
Think about DeAndre Swift too.
As y'all head out to y'all next topic, I gotta get out of here. So Nazir is gonna take over the rest of the show. They're gonna talk about what they want to talk about. So now it's the Nazir and Drew Best show.
All right, sounds good.
I have a fun doctor's appointment.
I'll try.
All right, man. Listen, those are the wide receivers. What are your reactions to those? Do you have any reaction at all? Or do you want to move on?
I mean, I guess it's obviously. I think there's a lot of things to consider. I think that another one to bring up is I don't think you draft a Packers wide receiver until you have your entire lineup put together because it could be any one of those 6 guys. Matthew Golden.
You're not sold?
I'll be perfectly honest. He looks like a great talent at wide receiver. But it does not seem like he has. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's the sharpest tool in the box off the field.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
I see. It's the go Green Bay instead of go Pack Go. It's come on. Just it's more than that. There's just been interviews where it's like he just seemed clueless about certain things, and I need to see what he's going to be like on the field for real before I really lock in on him. And I know that there's a reason they picked up on him, and I trust what they've done with wide receivers in the past, and I really think that he has a good chance to be their wide receiver 1 this year, but I'm not sold yet, and I need a little bit more time with him. I like the energy he brings. I love the moment when he gets drafted, but I still need a little bit more time with Matthew Golden. I'm still a Jaden Reed believer when he gets healthy. I'm still a Romeo Doubs believer when he gets healthy. I still think our best deep threat is Christian Watson. So where does that leave Matthew Golden?
I think
that right now puts him at like 3rd, and I think he at max is 3rd in targets this year, 2nd or 3rd.
That's not bad though. I think Golden's better than Watson at this point because I know Watson's probably at full health almost right now because of the ACL, so he'll be back maybe week 4, maybe week 5, hopefully. But I don't know, dude. I think Golden's the bona fide number one right now. I know Jaden Reed's going to be injured. I don't know what the hell is wrong with his foot. Romeo Doubs, I've never been sold on him. I'm not gonna lie. Another sleeper. I'm a Wicks guy. That's David Wicks. I think he's a good wide receiver. I don't know if he's gonna play that much for you guys. I hope he does, because I don't know why. Every time I watch a Packer game, he's always playing pretty damn good. So
he's always getting open, but he's the biggest thing is he's just got to get his hands on the ball, and that's the thing with pretty much every single Packer wide receiver right now. And that's where one spot where you can say Matthew Golden has stood out is he is holding on to the ball, and he's still a great route runner, making plays. We've seen a lot of really fun stuff out of training camp out of him. So I think from a pure talent perspective, I think he could easily be the best wide receiver out of this group when his career is all said and done. I just need a little bit more time with them to adjust. And maybe I'm being a little too hard on him. Maybe it's too early on to be talking about sharpest tool in the box, all that stuff. He could be a really smart player, and just he could figure that offense out and give them a jump at wide receiver that they haven't had since Devontae potentially.
So what I'm hearing, do you think Golden is close to being wide receiver one or no?
I think that it'll be one of those situations where he comes on later in the year, and then he's going to be outright the number one next year. That's where I could see it.
Well,
PR trade.
Listen, I respect that opinion. I just think he's number one right now. I think he has to be, because of all the hype that is put around him. The wide receiver room is very competitive. But that also is up to the quarterback, Jordan Love. We gotta mention that as well. Jordan Love, he has to put the ball in their hands. He can't have. Do you think this is a big thing right here? Okay, there's a guy at ESPN Milwaukee. Shout out Kyle Wallace. He's a great guy.
Love Kyle Wallace.
He told everyone yesterday or 2 days ago that Jordan Love is injury prone. I want to hit on that before we move on to the next topic, because it's still around the quarterback kind of talk we're going to have a little bit. But do you think Jordan Love is injury prone? People were like bashing him, like he was getting numbers, don't get me wrong, but negative numbers. People are dragging him on Instagram saying horrible take, horrible, just all this negative stuff about this take. But I see what he's trying to say. The last 2 years, Jordan Love has been kind of banged up. I know the O-line hasn't been the greatest when it comes to protecting him in these instances, but can we really dismiss the fact that he's been injury prone and the season hasn't even started and he's already injured, getting surgery on a finger? I mean, is it that crazy to say? Am I wrong for that?
I think just in general, everybody who plays the game of football is injury prone just because of the actual need to put your body through some of the craziest workouts and to be able to sustain hits like they do at the speeds that they're moving, at the body types that they have, because there are now 250-pound linebackers that can run 4.4s, and that's scary, and that's even different from 15 years ago. And I think obviously it's concerning that Jordan Love hasn't been able to consistently be healthy, but I don't think it's on him. I don't think it's anything that he's doing. And the surgery on the finger is going to be on his non-throwing hand. So I think it's just a matter of just trying to reduce stress and have one less thing to worry about. I don't think that's going to affect his overall performance. Otherwise, I mean, he's bounced back. Obviously, he had quite the offseason. He obviously has had his his engagement rather with his now fiance, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's a busy off season. He's entering year 3 as a starter. So this is really, I think this could be a make or break year for him. I think that obviously he's already signed a pretty big deal with the Packers, and I think we're going to start finding out this season if it was worth it or not. And I think a lot of people are still going to hold to the standard of you had Rodgers before you had Favre before that. And I think that a lot of people are going to be disappointed because he's not them. But I think that you also have to give him credit because he's still going to end up being a top at least 15 quarterback in the league.
Now, speaking of breakout season, or if it's going to be worth it, I want to move on to our next topic. Is Jayden Daniels' sophomore slump? Is he going to have another great season where obviously maybe not go to the NFC Championship, But is he going to be one of those quarterbacks that we see on a list, maybe like this? Is he going to be a top 6, top 5 quarterback? This is first things first. Shout out them. Great show. They always do the Mahomes Mountain, which is interesting. Because Jalen Hurts did beat him. So maybe it's Jalen Hurts Mountain, maybe not, but whatever. This mountain is very interesting to me. There's a lot of questionable, I'd say, quarterbacks that are a little higher and some that are lower. But Jaden Daniels really sticks out to me here, okay? We got Mahomes at top, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. This is all in order, by the way. So left to right. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. Is Jaden Daniels going to have a sophomore slump? Because I feel like when I say sophomore slump, I want you to understand that this means that he's not going to have the same production level that he did last year, which I think is very hard to reach. Because let's talk about the quarterbacks he played against. I mean, he didn't play against the greatest of quarterbacks when it came down to this regular season games. I'm pretty sure all those quarterbacks were pretty bad. He played Daniel Jones, Andy Dalton, Caleb Williams. I mean, that was a great matchup. Daniel Jones again. Cooper Rush. He lost that game, by the way. Will Levis, Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler, Kenny Pickett, Trey Lance. No Trey Lance slander on here. Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow he beat, but I mean, everyone, he played a lot of bad quarterbacks last year. And I know quarterbacks don't go head to head against each other. I know. I don't want to hear any of that. We're not talking about that. I'm saying Jaden Daniels as a production level. Is he going to do what he did last year against better competition on the other side of the football? Are those quarterbacks matchups going to be? Is he going to live up to the hype? Is what I'm really trying to ask. I want to hear your thoughts.
I think the easiest answer is no, or rather that he's going to have a slump. I don't think it's logical to guarantee that he can put up the same performance. I mean, you could obviously say he's done it once, he's done it, he can do it again. You can say that he's got a bolster and options, but we don't know if Terry McLaurin's going to be there. We don't know what Deebo Samuel is going to be like as a part of that offense. We don't know what they're going to get out of their running backs, if there's going to be someone who can even get out on top of the other guys in the running back room. But, I mean, the hype is there, and I see why it is there, because he came on strong at the end of the season. Absolutely. He did something that most rookie quarterbacks haven't done. Mm-hmm. I think he's due for a light regression. I think that the Cowboys should win that division. I think
you think over the Eagles?
Okay, maybe not the Eagles. I think the Cowboys can easily take second though over the Commanders.
They have owned the Commanders pretty recent, for a long time. Dak hasn't lost to them very much.
And I have a hard time believing that Dallas isn't going to bounce back from last season with all the injuries they had and with the bolstered offense. Jerry Jones, you just got to pay Micah Parsons, dude. Come on.
It's not going to happen. He's out of there. He doesn't even want to be there. He doesn't want to look at Jerry Jones. I wouldn't either. That's another topic, though. But
I know.
Listen.
That's why things could be screwed up. That's one less odd person that's staring down Jaden Daniels 2 times a year for you guys if you're Dallas. So I don't even know if that's like, I can't confirm that Dallas would be better, but I think due to just believing that there could be at least a little bit of a regression from Jaden Daniels. You think about all the drives that it took at the end of games. The offense was not. They won one game with just their kicker last year. They won against the Bears basically with just their kicker, and then a pop-up at the end of the game bouncing off of Tyreek Stevenson, who's celebrating in the back of the end zone. Like they got a lot of breaks last year. And it's not to say that like you don't get a lot of breaks and go to the NFC Championship very often. So I think that he's just due for at least a slight regression. I don't think he's going to be horrible, but I think this everything that's going on with the Commanders right now screams third place in that division and missing the playoffs.
Wow, really? So you think the Commanders? So you think the drop off could be so bad as if?
I think they could be the first team out of the playoffs.
Oh, first team out. So wild card.
First team out of the wild card.
So that would make the NFC East.
So what would that put him eighth?
Yeah.
The eighth best team in the NFC.
It'd be seventh because
When you think about it.
17. It'd be 7 teams that make the playoffs.
Because let's map it out. Lions, Eagles for sure. I think the Bucks can make it.
Rams,
Cowboys. I think one of the three of Minnesota, Chicago, or Green Bay will make it.
Okay.
So that's 6. I think another one could be in that conversation. So 7.
7. So
you got to think about the Cardinals too. If I'm already being really high on Kyler Murray, if they can sneak in, that can make things interesting as well. We haven't talked about the Seahawks yet.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's
Commanders schedule. Let's look at this.
Yeah.
The NFC. We'll have to go over the NFC one day.
I think if we're ruling out just like teams from the NFC that won't make the playoffs, I think you go Carolina. I know you're very high on Carolina. I don't think they make the playoffs.
I don't think they're making playoffs, but I think they're gonna have a really good season, for their standards,
Yeah, I was looking at the Saints schedule. They could go 3-14. I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't think the Falcons make the playoffs. And then I guess it's really a toss up after that. San Francisco, I don't think will make the playoffs. But that means there's 12 teams that are in the hunt.
I think San Francisco might surprise a lot of people, man. I don't know. I think their system's great. But let me read you off the Commanders their schedule real quick, because I really want to dive into what does this fall off look like? What was their record last year? 12-5 or 12-4, something like that.
I think I can't even remember what they finished at, but it was just they went on a huge tear at the end of the year because they had started pretty close to 500 or maybe even below 500 and then went on a crazy win streak.
So I'm gonna list off all the teams right here. Okay, they start off against the Giants. Okay, 1-0.
It's a win.
Then they got a short week. They go to Green Bay, second week. What do you think about that?
Man, and that's the Green Bay makes me nervous. Those first 2 games are going to be huge for them against the Lions, and then.
But one thing I noticed though, dude, is every time someone plays at Lambeau for the first time, they do not win.
I think the Packers can go at least 1-1.
Okay, so
I think that we'll say they beat the Commanders 1-1.
Okay, so Commanders are 1-1 at this point. Okay, we got they play Vegas the next week, so I would assume
I'll chalk that up for a win. 2-1.
That's at home. That's at home, so I count that as a dub. They go to Atlanta. They play the Falcons. I can see.
I think they could lose that, but I don't know. I think it's going to take a little while for the Falcons. I'll give them a win there, 3-1.
All right, Michael Penix, you can't compete with Jaden Daniels yet. Okay, then they go to LA. They're 3-1. They're 3-1 at this point. They play the Chargers. I think they lose that.
I think that's reasonable, and that's a lot. That's a long travel for them. And Justin Herbert is just going to be consistent. We'll go 3-2 there.
3-2. All right, we got Chicago. They play Chicago at home again.
I think Chicago goes back and gets them 3-3.
All right, okay, 3-3, going into week 7. All right, now this is the controversy. You said they're going to Dallas now. What are we looking like here? This is a rough stretch right here.
I think they split their season series with Dallas. So I'd say in Dallas wins. So they're 3-4 now.
Dallas wins. Okay, 3-4, going into week 8. They go to Kansas City. Yikes.
Yeah, they lose that too. 3-5.
3-5. All right, they go back home. They play the Seattle Seahawks. I think they win that.
I think they win that. 4-5.
Night game. 4-5.
Prime time. Jaden Daniels. NFL's writing the script. He's gonna win that game.
And then they host the Lions. Week 10. Game of the week.
Gosh,
game.
I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give that. That's a tough game. I'm giving it to the Lions. 4-6.
4-6. Going into week 11, they go face Miami. I think that's a win.
That's a win. So 5-7.
5-7 going into their bye week 12. Okay. 5-7. Now, week 13, they play Denver. That's always a good game. I think they win that, personally.
Yeah, we'll give them the win there.
All right.
6-7.
They play JJ McCarthy in Minnesota. 6-7 at this point, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
This could be their biggest toss-up game when it comes to that point. I think that they win that game though. 7-7.
7-7. We're back to 500. Hey, they go back to New York and they play the Giants. 8-7.
8-7.
I think they'll be starting Jackson Dart at this point, and I don't think they're going to be very good. So 8-7, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then this is the tough last 3 games. 8-7, by the way.
It might be 8-6 because if there's 3 games left, we might have added an extra loss for them.
Oh, okay. Well,
8-6.
8-6, and then they go and play Philly at home. I think they split again. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's give them a win. 9-6 right now.
9-6. Well, no, I think we were right. I think it was 7 because it's 18.
There's only 17 games in the season.
I know, but there's 18 games now. They have a flex game 18 week 18. Well, they had a bye week, but
the bye week, so there's 17 games.
Okay, all right. So they go and play Dallas at home.
I think that's their loss, and then I think that they lose to the Eagles. I think the end of the season they could lose their way out of the playoffs if that's the schedule that they're on.
Games. Yeah, those
last. If they go Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles, is that what I heard?
Yep.
God, they're gonna have to start really strong. They're gonna have to win games against the Packers and the Vikings. They're gonna have to make sure they put away teams like the Falcons. I think we're gonna know before those last 3 weeks if they're ready to make the playoffs or not. Because I'm sure they love not seeing the Eagles early on so that they can build momentum. But I'm in late bye week as well, so we'll see how that shakes out as well. But I think that they could be right around 10-7, and I mean that might be enough for them to make the playoffs.
Might not, man. 7
but it might not.
Tough, man.
It's a very deep conference this year.
So I want to hit before we move on to our next final topic. I want to talk about this list a little bit. This pyramid. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, we got some quarterbacks that are pretty controversial in my opinion. I think Bo Nix should be. I think he's a little bit better than Dak, personally. Right now, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen Dak play really in 2 years.
I think Geno and Purdy have to move down for Nix and Caleb.
You think Purdy has to move down? I think he should stay where he is because I don't know. He's still pretty decent. I don't know.
I've also never been very high on Purdy, so maybe that's just.
I mean, neither have I. I think he kind of proved himself a little bit last year when he, especially against the Lions game. I mean, he was playing out of his mind. But
I think Stroud needs to move down for Herbert.
Okay.
And I think that Stroud's right in that group with Love, Dak, and then for me, Nix, Caleb.
I think
otherwise, what was that?
I think Penix is pretty low. I know we haven't seen much out of him. Penix and Bryce are very.
I think they're both pretty low. I think that you have to. I think for now you have to drop Drake May.
Really?
Just for now.
A lot of people are very high. I think Drake May's good, dude.
Do you think Bryce Young's better than Drake May?
Man, that's tough. Yeah, kind of.
I think that you can make an argument that Bryce Young will be better than Drake May. I think you have an argument that a lot of these guys, Justin, it's so hard. Rodgers, still good. Kyler Murray, I think, is due for a breakout. I think he could easily end up at least 1 or 2 levels up from here.
Yeah. I think Sam Darnold is highly slept on. I don't know why he's that low.
It's just it was playoff performance, and it was the skid that they took at the end of the season. That's what took Darnold down a couple levels. Because I think if you would have done this at week 14 last year, I didn't see if they had the Mahomes period at that time, but I bet you he was up in that Stafford, Baker, Goff area. Just because of the performances he had. There was a time he was in the MVP conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is he that low? But maybe I don't know, whatever. But I think Herbert.
I think Darnold's better than Purdy. I think he's better than Geno. I think there's an argument that I can't give it above any other people on that 4th level, but I think he's better than at least Geno and Purdy.
Yeah,
but
I think I do think Herbert is on that level with Goff, Baker, and Stafford. I think he's still better than CJ Stroud. even though CJ Stroud didn't play that well either in that playoff game at all. So, I mean, if we're just gonna base it all on Herbert, you gotta be the same for CJ Stroud. He didn't have a great year either. So
I'm not high on CJ Stroud either. I mean, he had that sophomore slump and
really bad, in my opinion. I don't think it was. I know they won the division, but look at their division. Like,
it was really rough. But I think they were within reach of games. It's not like they were getting blown out all the time. They kept it close for most of their losses. Because I mean, the Packers game, it came down to McManus at the end. So
yeah. All right. Well, look, that was fun. We got a little football talking with me and Drew here. Now, final topic, man. This is gonna be fun. Are they the best team in baseball? I gotta know, Drew. We are experiencing a historic run by the Milwaukee Brewers. As someone who just started kind of focusing on baseball heavily like 3 years ago, I've experienced a lot of ups and a lot of downs, especially last year. But this is peak baseball we're watching right here, in my opinion. And I want to have a Brewers talk with you because, last year you were down reporting, the Brewers playoff game, and I know you're really high on the Brewers, big Brewers fan. And what are we experiencing right now, man? Are we experiencing the best baseball team right now in the MLB? And is this one of the best Brewers teams we've ever seen?
I think this is the best baseball team to ever play in Milwaukee. I think that and that's not even the postseason is the postseason. That's a different story. But I think in terms of just pure baseball, dude, they're 27-4 in their last 31 games. They've lost 4 games since mid-July, early July.
Yep.
That's insane. And I think back to in May, I see the video of the Brewers playing the Cubs. They give up a home run. The fan throws the ball back, and you can just see the cutoff as he's screaming the F-bomb into the air. Since then, they're like 60-25.
Yeah.
Like there was a time I went to a Brewer game. It was when they gave away the cribbage board. It was in May.
Yep, May.
And they were at like 21-25 at the time, and they got smoked in that game by the Twins. Since then, they haven't even lost 20 games. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's something like 50-20 in that stretch, or 55-20. And I couldn't believe it. And I should have. Pat Murphy he's easily taken over the reins from Craig Counsell as everybody's favorite manager. I think that he's won everybody back. The pocket pancakes is great. The walk-offs keep happening. They're never out of a game. If you go to the bullpen, they're not going to give anything up in a meaningful game. It's all the pieces. It's the depth. I mean, you can get a hit now from anybody 1 to 9+. You can expect your pinch hitters to extend 9-pitch at bats and work walks. Mm-hmm. They're not the biggest power team, but they're batting around. They're getting singles. They're slapping doubles into the corners. They're figuring it out. And Christian Yelich being healthy is a huge part of that. I think when he went down last year, that was when everybody, I think in the back of their mind, started to rule the Brewers out. That made things like, obviously that was a different season, but just from what we're seeing right now with the pitching, with the hitting, we could put in 8 different, I can think of at least 7 different pitchers we could put in a postseason game right now as a starter, and I'd be fine with it.
When Yelich went down last year, I was one of the people that were like, why are we panicking? I think our team's deep enough. I think we're good enough to compete in the playoffs. Obviously, I was wrong. But coming back to this season, I mean, was I really wrong? I mean, they were just a little bit younger, I guess. We were missing a few pieces, I guess. But we relatively have the same team. I mean, besides a few pickups. And I just think our team's so deep, and, we can rely on so many players that, I mean, why not? Why can't we beat the Dodgers? I mean, why can't we do any of that? We just did. Obviously, we just beat the Mets. We swept them, by the way. It was a close series, 3-2, 7-4, 7-6. I mean, those games could have gone either way, besides the second one, I'd assume. But look, the schedule coming up. We have an off day today. Nice little off day. Then we get back into the swing of things tomorrow. on Cincinnati with the Reds, 3-game stretch against them, and then we go to Chicago. Now, I really want to hit on the Chicago series, man.
The Chicago series is going to be 5 games.
Yep. You got a doubleheader on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then we come back home, play the Giants and the Diamondbacks, Diamondbacks is a 4-game series in Milwaukee. Then we play the Blue Jays, which is very tough. Like, this is to end off this month. That's pretty tough, you know. The Reds they always play us pretty hard, I think. Obviously the Cubs, the Giants, not too high on them. The D-backs are always good. I don't know. You know, me and you are pretty big on Arizona teams.
They kind of lost it this year. I think that they've started to surrender officially, but
right. So what are your thoughts on that? And obviously, good question by Jalen. Is Isaac Collins winning Rookie of the Year? I think he is. I think he should.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you have to keep in mind is, if my math's correct, the Brewers are going to play 19 games in 18 days. They're not going to have another rest day until September 2nd. So just from a general baseball standpoint, that's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
But they're also, you have to keep in mind that they've been able to do this. I don't think that Jackson Chourio has played in almost any of this 12-game win streak.
Yeah.
And they had Mizorowski go down. They had Henderson go down. But they're staying consistent. They I think 1 to 5, you can trust anybody who's going out on the mound. They haven't even had to put out Chad Patrick in a while. It's been Freddie. I mean, moving forward, we can see Freddie, Woody, Miz, Priester. You can throw in Henderson. You can throw in Chad Patrick. You can throw in Quintana.
Yep.
And I think Quintana's been a great 5. Like, that's someone who that was a great pickup. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, the Brewers were relatively conservative at the deadline. They only picked up Danny Jansen. They kickstarted the deadline. Their deadlines was picking up Durbin in the offseason, picking up Priester. No, those are their big moves. And then if you add on Mizorowski and Logan Henderson, it's like adding 2 more starting pitchers. And so that's already happened. And a lot of the talk in a few weeks is, for a lot of teams, is going to be September call-ups. Like, Brewers aren't going to have to call people up because they're going to get everybody back from the injured list. And then we're going to see a little bit less of the guys like Monasterio and Siegler in the lineup. And it's going to be, and Joey Ortiz is finally figuring it out. We knew that he wasn't going to be a superstar at the plate, but we knew he wasn't going to bat 170 for the rest of the season. He's batting, I think, 350 in this month right now.
There's a lot of people that were very much down on Joey Ortiz, and I never understood why. He's proved a lot of people wrong. Everyone was slandering his name. It's ridiculous, actually, to me.
Well, this is a team that's coming off of a team Gold Glove season. That means everybody's contributing. Bryce Terang was a Platinum Glove. Sal Frelick was a Gold Glove. And then you think about, we're going back to the depth again in the outfield. They don't even have Garrett Mitchell right now. He's out for the season. But they have Frelick, they have Perkins, they have Isaac Collins, who's been playing great in the outfield. They have Chourio, who's waiting to come back. Even the bench pieces, like I said, they're just gritty, ankle-biting players. You got Lockridge, you got Siegler, you got Monasterio, who those are guys who probably won't get a whole lot of time in the postseason, but they're filling the role right now that they need to. And Durbin, I think in an ideal world, he's a second baseman, but obviously they're going to hold on to Terang. And Durbin's been playing just fine at third. So it's just, they have so many players who can step in the right moments, and they're not as young as they used to be. I think that as long as they stay healthy, this is the team that should walk away with the World Series trophy. And that's at least the way that they're playing. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be tough. The Reds are not going to be an easy team to beat at Great American Ballpark.
Always plays hard. Yep.
You got 5 games at Wrigley. Then you got the Giants, which is, it's not an easy series. The D-backs are never an easy series. And then you go into Toronto. And fun fact, I'm going to be at 2 of those Toronto games. That's going to be fun. Yeah, we're doing the hotel. That'll be a great time. But then after that,
live footage back. That'd be fun.
You got three games at the Phillies. Yeah. Still go to the Rangers. You go to the Cardinals, which haven't been having a great season, but it's always tough. Or well, they come to us rather. but then I mean, you got a lot of. He's still got the Padres at the end of the season. You got another stretch with the Reds.
Good Lord, man, did they do this on purpose? Like the MLB just kind of scheduled these like when they know we get hot and then place us up against the best teams in the league. Like it's just like, well, what are we supposed to do about it? But I guess my last question to you, man, is do you think we got hot at the wrong time? Because there's a lot of people here in Milwaukee who think maybe we're gonna stay hot. You know, maybe we're gonna continue to beat all these great teams. Just before we get into our final thoughts, just your quick thoughts on that.
All right, so I've always been one to fall victim to I know this is going to go and be a problem because we're going to find a way to lose in the playoffs. That's always the mindset that I've had with this team just because I've seen it so many times. But now is the time where we just have to put that away and just rally for these guys because that mindset is not going to take us anywhere. I think that we just have to act like we're the best team. We have to play like we're in first. We have to compete like we're in second. And we just have to go out there and just keep hammering things out and keep winning. They could realistically get to 100 games, and then they can go into a playoff series. They can roll out Freddie, Wu, Priester, Miz in 4 games, rinse, repeat. And then you have Uribe, McGill, DL Hall, Aaron Ashby, anybody coming out of the bullpen. Jared Koenig has been a stud. And then you can roll out 15 different batters. And I think it's just going to be those young guys that need to step up. And we got to rally behind those guys because they're going to be the difference makers in this. So
look,
I'm going in with the utmost confidence in this team now because there's no other way to do it. And I'm going to root for them. They're going to win a World Series this year. It's going to happen. Book it.
Well, hey, that's awesome. I love to hear it, man. What are your final thoughts? Anything you'd like to share, sports-wise, life-wise, doesn't matter. Lay it all out on me real quick before we end the show real quick.
Oh, my gosh. Final thoughts. I didn't even put any thought into this. Let's go with – man, I'm not ready. You go first.
Look, man, I'm still monitoring the Giannis situation. Bobby Portis came on to ESPN Milwaukee the other day saying, Giannis, he bleeds green. That's all I need to hear. Okay. That put life back into my eyes for the Bucks.
Take that to the bank.
Talking about them. The offseason's been pretty long so far. Bobby Portis, he gave us hope a little bit, man. And you know, he also said, "Why can't we do it this year?" I know he kind of put his point around injuries. We've been injured the past few years. It's a great point. I mean, Giannis went down 2 years, and Dame went down this year, and you know, it hasn't been very fortunate for them since the strong playoff series they had before. And even that series, Giannis went down. But Giannis was strong enough to come back and play in those finals because who wouldn't, you know? And if you have the ability to do that, you're going to do it. So he has a great point. Why not this year? You know, I got a lot of hope back from Bobby Portis coming back on the show the other day. And, you know, we're looking forward to it. It's been a long offseason. We got a lot of things to work on. Obviously, our team is far from the best. But if Giannis stays, there's always a chance. That's all I'll say.
All right, and I love to see that too. Let's take it to the bank, and then we'll see what the Bucks can do this year with this kind of renewed energy. I feel like that we're going to have because I mean things were rough last year, so
it was rough. I'm looking forward to, you know, this Brewers, you know, what they're going to be able to do. The Bucks. I'm looking forward to all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us today. Do best. Love you, man. Please come back more. We love your takes. We love talking to you about all this fun stuff. And thank you to all the fans in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. We'll be posting on TikTok and Instagram later. Our Spotify also is in the link in the YouTube comment section. So go listen to that if you missed the stream at all. But thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.